2 for the bonus edition of MOLIAE for my new broadcast, Nichel Anderson short stories. So we will start where we left off. Continuing from the last episode, 1, from the bonus edition to the pre-launch of my second podcast show entitled Nichel Anderson Short Stories and Beyond. Last week, you were exposed to some major characters from my production, MOLIAE, where Queen Hagar had an intense meeting with Nontu of the High Council of the Orions and ordered him to leave until her decision was made of a recent matter continuing to escalate. In this timeline, it is before the time of Princess Aamina that my book of Mitsrayim starts. In the last episode 1 from my podcast, bonus, listeners were introduced to the young Princess Hannah, Comrade Jetur and Ezri, the high herbalist of the royal family. Afterwards, mysteriously, Queen Hagar left the domain of the palace and later entered the secret location of the royal palace in Mitsrayim. Let's continue from the last episode 1 to the now episode 2 bonus edition for my new forthcoming podcast, Nichel Anderson Short Stories and Beyond, where we continue with MOLIAE. Opening scene. As the dawn hours of a new day still fell over the skies, there was a clean breeze sweeping up as the sound of palm trees whisked back and forth. At the end of the Unyi Hall, there were more Abbas guards, waiting to escort Nontu of the High Council of Orions out of the palace and sneak him out of Mitsrayim. Nontu was not happy of the last encounter with Queen Hagar, as he continued to walk in a commanding way while thinking how to inform his superiors regarding the sole ruler controlling the choices is now the queen. The young Comrade Jetur was walking behind Nontu to assure this transition to the next assigned guards of the high Hittite rank in removing this visitor out of Mitsrayim. This way, one of the high Hittite rank guards said, reaching for Nontu's arm. Efarane, Nontu yelled back. Ekanofano ala siko e. Translation. Let my arm go. I am not one of your lower subjects. I am the highest officer of Orion Nano. Comrade Jetur stepped up with one hand on his weapon to intercede. Stand down, Nontu, for there is no need to resist. The rest of our guards will lead you out of Mitsrayim. Comrade Jetur slowly moved in between the Abbas High Hittite rank guard and Nontu. After a few moments, Nontu backed down, staring at Comrade Jetur. I have heard of your victory in the Mitsrayim war. You are still very young and know nothing of the ways of combat military force, Comrade Jetur. Comrade Jetur breaks a slight smile, not leaving eye contact to Nontu. It is the young that is wise enough to learn from the old as you. As my legend says, in that war at age 16, I'm mighty for my age, and I have the king and queen of Mitsrayim on my side. Let's see you will have the same when you inform your superiors of the failures here today. Comrade Jetur quickly turned his back on him to say Otu, Otu. Translation. Take him away, take him away. Comrade Jetur turned around to ignore Nontu and walked away with several remaining Abbas guards. Suddenly, Mahlon, the southern region of Mitsrayim guards, came rushing up to Comrade Jetur. "What is it?" Comrade Jetur asked as he saw Mahlon looked worried. It is the border at South Tepe. Some villagers are missing, and some guards. We think Nseke? He must still have some resistant ones on his side from the war," Comrade Jetur pondered. "Do not inform the Queen as yet. I will see to it. There is something else, Comrade Jetur." Still looking worried, Mahlon was. Comrade Jetur, although the very young age of 17 years old, stood taller, straighter, wiser, even more in appearance of strength with his already massive physique for this moment of time, but for some reason he felt something was coming, and a concern engulfed his being as he waited for Mahlon to explain. "Nseke is nowhere to be found, Comrade Jetur. His hideaway, as you instructed, was discovered, but it was destroyed by someone. We know that it is not Nseke, and this is what we found." He handed it to Comrade Jetur. It was a brown cloth wrapped around something. Comrade Jetur opened the brown cloth to see the object. Then he slowly looked back up to Mahlon. "Follow me. We should see someone that awaits my presence." Comrade Jetur and a few other guards quickly vanished into the increasing resting ways of Apsu as the day entered into the shadowy night. Few moments later, Queen Hagar enters the Unyi Hall, far north end of the Abbas palace, where 22 royal guards stood outside the royal room, to where King Mahlon lay resting on a shield bed of gold, as some of his body rooms were wrapped in fine linen fabric. She sits down next to him, facing the open view of the Nile, and reached for his hand as Ezri stood nearby, gathering water brought in from the Nile and sacred holy herbs. Telepathically, she speaks to Mahlon. "We shall get through this to keep the secret, Mahlon, and we will handle the Orions soon, for there is a new dawn awakening." She moves his hand on her belly. Suddenly, King Mahlon, after 12 Apsu days, for the first time, moves and squeezes her hand. She gasps for air, still looking out towards the Nile, before at him. Their eyes meet, as one tear slowly falls down her cheek, as the Queen then speaks softly. "It shall be so." All giving of thankfulness to Kine for this moment. My king has awoken. Ezri slowly turns around in amazement and smiles. End scene.